This is breaking news. If you're an expat entrepreneur, you want to listen to this. If you're a remote worker around the world, you want to listen to this because VPNs are becoming the next control point. Yes, in the US, there are lawmakers and professionals in California that want to ban the use of VPNs permanently, like forever, like just get them totally off the internet altogether. And it's crazy because for years, VPNs were treated as a personal preference, a tool for privacy, a convenience for us travelers, or a workaround for remote workers. But that era could be ending. Across multiple regions, VPNs are no longer being discussed as neutral technology. They're being reframed as infrastructure that needs oversight, regulation, and outright restriction. Not everywhere, not all at once, but quietly, consistency, and through policy change language that most people never even think about reading. For expat entrepreneurs, this matters more than almost anything else right now, because when the system changes, they never start with borders, they start with access.
Yeah, this kind of tells me that they just want to control and keep people where they are.
Yeah, VPNs are suddenly in focus because governments don't want to wake up and decide to ban privacy one day. That's not how control works in these modern systems. Instead, they want to focus on financial compliance, of course. They want everybody to comply with the new, what is that called, stable coin in the government, that you're going to be able to track and see every single little thing you're spending in the Western economies. Data sovereignty, national security frameworks. We know national security is a huge thing right now with these geopolitical risks increasing, tax enforcement, and platform regulation. Now, if you're like, why do people need a VPN anyway? Well, it's just for people who want privacy, that do not want their computer to be hacked by cyber stalkers and people that want to steal your social security number, or people that want to change their IP address, so like their digital address to a different address when they're searching the web, so that they have a bit more privacy. In short, VPNs weaken the link between identity, location, and control. But we all know 2026, heading into the 2030s, is going to be a time period where they don't want you to have your own identity that is private and humane and just something that is like a free human critical thinker. They want you to be a super part of the system that's coming. They want you to be controlled, and they want to see literally everything you're doing, and eventually they're going to even want to look at what you're thinking. So this is what you need to recognize if you are an expat entrepreneur. Historically, access tightens in a predictable order. Payments, banking, digital identity, connectivity, and physical movement. And what we're already seeing is payment processors increase their KYC scrutiny, banks delay or close accounts altogether for risk review, digital IDs expand, or visa rules that are quietly tightening beyond what they ever were.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's getting more serious. That's what it's coming down to. So, if you are moving away from your home country, it seems like to me that you have to work where you're going to be moving. You're going to have to learn how to move around the society, learn how to move around the country that you are in. Make that that currency, the country's currency that you are in. Because if they take this VPN away, because we know a lot of people that has the W-2 jobs, a remote job, and of course they use the VPN. So I can't imagine like if they take that away and someone's way over here in Africa, and then their whole job gets taken away.
Yeah.
So it just seems like to me like when you move, you gotta be serious about it, more serious than ever before. Like you gotta plant your roots wherever you're going.
Yeah, and if you have a business, this really protects you from a lot of that, especially if you are using international business accounts. You're not going to have any issues with this because the international accounts really don't care where your IP address is. You're going to be able to access those accounts. But this is why we've been telling people literally for the past 6 years, go check out the Introvert Marketer playlist, Black Educators Amplified playlist. We Are Entrepreneurs have been for about 10 years now, and that's the only way to move abroad because it's just too risky when you're relying on a W-2 and you have to do what your boss says, then they take away the VPN, then you can't get into the system, then you're back in the States. With proper planning and strategy, you can stay out of America long term, but typically the people that do not properly plan, do not run a business, do not really look into the depth of everything like we do in the Mature Adult Intensive, www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com/services. If you are not prepping in that way and seeing this as a moment that could shape everything for the next 20 years for you or your children's children when they're abroad, those are the people that tend to fail versus being someone that finds success abroad because they took the time, the due diligence to save their money and look at the strategy behind relocating. I want to make one thing abundantly clear. This is not about casual activity, casual browsing, criminal activity, or individual privacy debates. Those narratives are completely surface level. This is about jurisdictional clarity. Governments are under pressure to know where activity originates, where value is created, like in what regions of the world, who brings the value add to these regions, where taxes apply, and where responsibility sits. VPNs technically blur those answers. And in periods of global instability, systems do not like ambiguity, okay? And instead of panicking, I want you to do a few things. I have a list of 4 things that you should do. Number 1, stop treating VPNs as your only layer of privacy. A VPN should never be your sole line of defense or access. Think in layers. Legal residency clarity, like for example, a premium visa in Mauritius, a digital nomad visa anywhere else in the world that leads into long-term residency with a clear pathway. Banking alignment, going into neutral territories, device hygiene, data segmentation, and platform redundancy. Number 2, I want you to watch the language, not necessarily the headlines. Licensing requirements, authorized providers, compliance frameworks, national security exemptions. Restrictions are going to begin as optional compliance, okay? Number 3, I want you to separate personal convenience from business infrastructure. Your business access should not depend on tools that can be restricted overnight. Like, that's dangerous territory. Instead, you need to build systems that assume slower verification, more documentation, and location transparency. And lastly, plan for jurisdictional alignment. Again, this is where coming into neutral territory. If you're a U.S. citizen, going to places that have a good, strong relationship with the United States of America, a clear base, clear structure, clear reporting, and clear intent across the board, online, offline, everywhere. Because opacity is no longer a long-term strategy.
Oh, I know that rubs people the wrong way when we talk about, make sure the country has a good relationship with the United States. And that's true. Definitely if you are like an entrepreneur, right? You want to have a strategy. You want to have a clear path to residency. You don't want to go to a country where they're banning U.S. citizens. They're not letting U.S. citizens in. So for the time being, you have to think this way because if you don't, you're just going to cause problems for yourself.
And your family.
Yeah.
And your children's children. It's going to be felt throughout the generations.
Exactly. That's why you have to, we always say this, use your skills and talents, right? Make sure you know what your skills and talents is and how you can integrate with the country that you are in. So that's very important with the VPN. Stuff that's happening right now. This is just the beginning. You know, you always gotta look at the bigger picture. They're telling people what what the world is headed to. They
Yeah.
want to keep people in their country that you are in. Pretty much, you're gonna go back to your homeland. Put it like that.
If you don't have a proper, if you
yeah.
you don't have a strategy in place, because it reminds me of speaking to a few of our marketing agency clients just in the last month. One is actually residing in Panama. They're both American citizens or American immigrants. Okay, so they've been in America, have American citizenship. One is like American born, Black American, but one is in Panama, one's in Brazil. And so they're in our marketing agency. They needed magnetic emails, retention marketing. They want to deploy their business systems so that they will be in position to get a residence in Panama, to renew a residence in Brazil, to go to multiple jurisdictions. This is why the systems that you build your business on and the systems that you build your relocation on matter so much. Because if you're not speaking in systems, it's like you're not even really doing anything. You just have a hobby.
Yeah, just look at the bigger picture. You know, the bigger picture is just really coming down to the word. You know, it kind of gives us the instruction that is going to happen, and we clearly see what's happening. 2 or 3, 4 days into 2026.
So if you like what we were saying in this video, if you are shocked by VPNs potentially becoming obsolete, again, this is why it's so important to be in a neutral territory. Get the Expat Systems Brief. They're private insights on global access, digital infrastructure, and how founders adapt their marketing and tech systems before rules change. Check out the link in the description. It's a complimentary email series for you on the 21 best ways to market your business in 2026 and beyond. Because at the end of the day, these systems are not waiting. They're changing, and if you don't change with the times and innovate and understand what's required in this economy and in this global world, then you are going to be left behind.